First Central Credit Bureau. Racing for tomorrow. Dreaming big? Need access to credit? Don't let the unknown hold you back. First Central Credit Bureau, Nigeria's #1 credit bureau, is here to empower you on your credit journey. As the first and only independent credit bureau in Nigeria, we have the largest subscriber base, wide coverage, and a rapidly growing presence across Africa. Trusted by over 3,000 subscribers, from banks to retailers, with over 1 billion records leveraging world-class technology to deliver real value to you. Take control of your financial future today and stay empowered. Visit www.firstcentralcreditbureau.com today and experience the First Central advantage. And follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, TikTok, Threads. First Central Credit Bureau. Racing for tomorrow.
All right. Good morning to all our distinguished participants. I hope we're all doing great. Good to have you all participate in our first webinar for the year 2025. I hope we're all doing great. Please, if you can hear me, can you just confirm that from the chat box? Can you just confirm that? If you can hear me.
Good morning. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Good to see you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm super excited to welcome you all to this amazing webinar today, which promises to bring a turning point to you and your business outlook, irrespective of what you are doing for a living. My name is Mary Ohaleto Woma, and this program is brought to you by First Central Credit Bureau, yours truly, first licensed and independent, reliable credit bureau in Nigeria. So I welcome you once again to Credit Bureau 7.0, themed Exploring Credit Opportunities and Boosting Financial Literacy in a Challenging Economy. I take the theme again, exploring credit opportunity and boosting financial literacy in a challenging economy like ours now. Okay, let me just set a little background to why we are considering this topic today. From where we sit as Credit Bureau, we have come across a lot of individuals, businesses with fantastic business ideas, but no capitals to fund those ideas, no collateral, no financial knowledge on the already existing or available sources of funds, or aware of opportunities out there. We have also seen a lot of lending institutions complaining of low patronage, especially this difficult time, from prospective borrowers. So the question we are trying to address here today is, what are the barriers between lenders and borrowers? The barriers between lenders and borrowers, and how do we close the gap, especially in this present challenging economy? If you may ask me, it's not just in Nigeria. People in diaspora also are facing their own troubles. So I'm super excited about today's event because of the wealth of experience of our facilitators who will be doing justice to this topic today. So to go to the business properly, I have Mr. Olalekan Abbas and Mrs. Tosin Obola, who will be moderating this event alongside with me. Mr. Abbas, say hi to the house.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Madam Tosin, are we good?
Good morning, everybody. You're welcome to the Credit Bureau 7.0.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, could you please help me welcome yourselves? I just want to see the comments on the welcoming yourself at the chat box, because you are the reason why we are here. Without you, we will not have any market. So thank you so much for joining us in today's event. Please note that this program is being recorded and will be shared with all registered participants. And it's also streamed live on all our different social media platforms. So kindly drop all your questions on the Q&A box. They will all be attended to towards the end of this event. Also feel free to make comments on the chat box. Ladies and gentlemen, it's also my pleasure to announce to you that our webinar today, in fact, not just our webinar, all our webinars are always packaged with Learn and Win section. Learn and Win section. Those that are family, those have always the regular people that usually join us are aware of this. So Learn and Win section is where people will be going home with tangible gift of shopping vouchers worth up to 50,000 naira each, by just answering questions correctly on this event. So just listen attentively, follow all instructions, listen to all speakers so that you'll be able to respond to questions, because those questions will be gotten from some of the comments made by the speakers. So right now, let's listen to the recorded profile of the speakers of the first section. Thank you. Can we have the profile?
And analytics. Oladimeji Peters has over 18 years of working experience in business development and analytics, both within and outside Nigeria. He is a graduate of economics and holds an MBA from the Durham University, England. He also holds an honorary doctorate degree in banking and finance management from the European American University. He is a professional and associate member of various institutions, which include Nigerian Institute of Management, NIM, Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers, CIS, Microsoft Corporation, Chartered Institute of Administration, and Fraud Examiner, CIA, amongst others. He's a writer and has written so many columns in the national dailies. He's also a public speaker and has featured in many events, local and internationally. He has functioned as Chairman Credit Bureau Association of Nigeria, CBAN. In many occasions, his immense contribution has positioned the credit bureau industry as a vital pillar for financial industry in Nigeria to achieve stability. And now, with a round of applause, please welcome Oladimeji Peters to the Credit Bureau 7.0. Beni Adelekan, a seasoned business leader with over 25 years of experience in finance and management across Nigeria and the UK. His career spans multinational investment banking in NM Rothschild & Co., Financial Regulations and Financial Services Authority, FSA, and various financial institutions like CITI Trust Merchant Bank and Union Merchant Bank. Currently, he leads Trafalgar, a fintech and business support company specializing in customer finance and business process outsourcing. Adelekan champions the money lending industry as a chairman of the Money Lenders Association and promotes foreign direct investment as an associate partner of Dudu Consulting. He is also a strong advocate for the financial inclusion, having served the president of MPAC, Mobile Payment Agency Network. His commitment to the community development is evident through his involvement with the Life Changers Foundation, Enterprise Empowerment and Training Unit, EETU, and the Nigeria-Malaysia Business Council. Adelekan holds an MBA from the South Bank University and a degree from the University of East London. And now, with a round of applause, please welcome Beni Adelekan to the Credit Bureau 7.0.
All right, thank you so much. Let's welcome the MD CEO of First Central Credit Bureau and the host of this event in the person of Mr. Deji Peters. MD, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mary. Thank you so much. And thank you once again for joining. I want to say a very big thank you to all of the speakers, and the keynote speaker. I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Beni Adelekan for joining. I'd like to also say a big thank you to Mr. Bankole. For every time we call, he would always answer. They've always been helpful in every way. And I would also like to say a big thank you. But before I go on, a big thank you to all the attendees. I mean, to be here to ensure that, you join this is something we don't take for granted. And we appreciate your contributions and, your commitment over the years. I would say, just a minute, I'm trying to see if I can see. Right. Thank you. I would also say a big thank you to Mr. Damilola, Owe, and then a big thank you once again to the team at First Central, everyone, Madam Mary, Mr. Bassa, Kemi, and everyone. I think I'm missing one person I haven't exactly mentioned, Mr. Olusegun. Oladipo, a big thank you once again to you. We don't take your commitment and your contribution for granted. This event would give us an opportunity to draw from rich experience of some of the speakers, the keynote speaker, and to be able to learn from the things they have been able to apply at the practical capacity, and to also draw from the wealth of their own experience. It is important to say at this point that no nation, no individual can exist without some form of exchange. In fact, the underlying basis of development in economics is that there must be some form of exchange in one form or the other. And, there must be supporting systems. The speakers here have managed supporting systems. They have managed exchange process, whether it has to do with creditism or crediting, saving from one person and crediting the same to another person. They have a powerful, amazing amount of experience in such exchange and in such engagement. So I think this would also present us with a fabulous opportunity to learn from some of the best minds and some of the masterminds within the sector. Thank you once again, Mary. Yes. Am I able to proceed with my presentation now, please?
Yes. It's on
Thank you.
the
Thank you
screen.
very much. So one of the things that we try to do at the very first stage is to understand the credit scores, what creditism or credit is even about. I mean, we do this every time we talk about it. We run the processes, but what are the impacts on the financial opportunities? And when we say opportunities, we're not speaking of opportunity just in the real sense or in the real terms. We're speaking of the opportunities that are already forgone in the past, and more importantly, the opportunities that we ought to take ahead in the future. You would see sometimes last year there was a lot of contention around in the world, most especially in the US, around people talking, people who had retired and they had access to their pensions. These were Harvard graduates in some cases. These were people that are powerful in society, wealthy. But at some point or the other, they reached the point where they retired and they are unable to keep up with their lifestyle or their way of life financially. In other words, they left a system of working and salary, and now they have to retire permanently or solely on the on pension. And soon enough, they realize that the pension is unable to sustain their way of life. So what they then start seeing is that they have a free fall in their financials. Everything seems to be a little bit less. And so at that point, they realize that they've been unable to plan ahead for their future. And they've committed so much into thinking about their own financial choices in present terms and not necessarily prospectively. So understanding credit score today as a first stage makes an attempt to understand that the pivotal role in determining your ability to secure loan and to significantly influence your financial decision, especially in a challenging economy, is not just in present terms, but also in future terms. The connectors between credits and financial decisions are to understand that the past decisions you've made or that the things that you've been able to secure as loans in the past would altogether affect an institution's ability to give you loan today, and perhaps your ability to also secure loan extensively in the future. Nobody wants to be in an old age and they're unable to secure loans, especially when they need it. So one of the key aims of this program is to enhance financial literacy of credit bureau by boosting the individual's access to credit score, empower their individuals to make informed decisions, and in fact improve economic situations, whether in real times or in present times or prospectively into the future. And for the general tips in managing credit score, we would also be looking at the aspect of consistent repayment habits, good credit score, debt level, keeping the low debt level and not too saturated, and then to also ensure the regular monitoring by getting access to free credit reports, whether quarterly or yearly basis, and to ensure that your reports consist no deficiency or inaccuracy. So those are some of the things that we would look at the most basic level. It is also important again to say, like I mentioned in the past, that there is nobody or even a nation that would engage in one form of exchange or the other, that will refuse to exchange in one form or the other and expect that they should grow. Even if it's as powerful as the US, there must be exchange with other nations, with other individuals. So to not exchange in credit forms, or to not be able to carry out some form of exchange that can report itself in your credit report, and ensure that people can see that by virtue of this exchange, you are not a defaulter, but you're honorable enough to, to oblige or to perform your repayments and honor your past commitments. That is the only time people going forward or institutions going forward can ensure that you have more access to funds. Nobody would want to exchange anything of any sort with an individual or institution that they do not necessarily know, or they do not, they are unable to measure their risk profile or their repayment habits, their willingness to repay, or their willingness to actually honor prior commitments. So it is important to have such history in your reporting, and to have it in your credit report detailed appropriately. So at the most rudimentary level, we're also looking at how credit score affects your loan approval, and a solid understanding of your credit score impacts loan approval is also crucial for navigating the lending landscape. And one of the things your credit score will do, for instance, is to extensively aggregate all of your loan liabilities from different institutions, and to ensure that those liabilities look into other sectors. Now, for instance, at the monitoring capacity, some institutions, for instance, will report personal loan, mortgage loan, others will report maybe insurance. Some will say, okay, this loan was taken in this geographical sector. And the sad reality is sometimes people make the mistake of thinking, well, in the past, that if I take a loan from Sokoto, whether it's a farmer's loan, I can come to Lagos and take another loan, and no one will have an understanding of whether there is such history in pardon. And so it's important to know that the aggregates of all of this, all of the loans reported in the credit report, is not just from one sector or from one geographical location, but it targets way past across many what do you call information sources, whether it's even from Eco Electricity, or whether it's from LASMA, or from any utility, or from discos and telcos. Different sectors will report all of this credits information, and that information will also be captured in your credit report. And so it's not a case of whether you take it from one geographical space and you're unable to, it will not be reported in another space, or whether you take it from one sector and there is no aggregate or a cumulative understanding of all of your reporting. So all of that would also be captured. The key practice for building your financial resilience, without doubt, is to build a steady financial strategy that can ensure that you are able to have a consistent amount of stability in your financial space. If you please move to the next slide, I'll just speak very briefly about it so that I don't preempt the speaker. And then the comprehensive approaches for your financial education would be the essential skills of managing your finances that you need to understand, your credit terms, and ultimately leading to a better decision. And this will be extensively addressed by the speakers. Your general principle for understanding credit system and having a solid grip on credit system is also pivotal or important for you to make financial discussions that are very important and good financial choices, especially in difficult credit terms. If you please move to the next slide. And so again, we'll look at the strategies for sustainable financial education. We look at the long-term and the continuous financial products that can empower individual make informed decisions. Some of those products include not even products within the financial space, but outside of this space. And it's important that we're able to leverage on some of that. I beg your pardon, please. I beg your pardon. Right. And some of this will, apologies again, and some of this will be addressed by the speakers. Now, foundational elements for understanding or for financial literacy or for financial knowledge include such things as a basic financing, such as budgeting, project utilization, and essential things that are necessary for achieving stability in economic climate. One of the things about finances also is that, like in the individual cases where people do not budget for the future, or they do not think ahead of what could happen should they, be engaged in a situation that includes a job loss, or they are now old and vulnerable, they don't have the energy to work. How are they going to sustain themselves? Or not look at the issues that are around inflation and interest rates in the economy wherever they decide to stay. Some of those things can then influence or affect their ability to even sustain their own lifestyle or to ultimately survive at any given point in time. So it's important to say that whether at the individual capacity or at the level of the nation or at the corporate capacity, there is always necessity to provision for budgeting. Such budgeting may include, but not limited to, issues of, okay, how much am I allowed to spend within this rate, within this time? What do I expend? How do I schedule it in a way that I don't push the limit? How, for instance, do I ensure that I can dilute my spending option? Even if I have the cash to spend, perhaps I don't necessarily have to spend it. I can save this, I can, decide to invest this and even take credit that I don't need just for the sake of building maybe a credit score or having a history within the financial system and leaving financial footprints that can adequately reflect me prospectively for the future. Then we look at the general insight into economic management. We understand that the broader understanding of economic factors affecting financial management can aid individuals in making strategic decisions about credit and investment opportunity. Now, when we speak of a broader understanding of economic factors, we would look at aspects of not just the crediting now. Crediting is just one part of the financial system. Now we look at the aspect of extensive analysis, whether it has to do with your GDP, your national income, your what's it called, your Gini coefficients. And I'll give an instance. If, for instance, in Nigeria, you have a situation where you have a middle class that is either narrowing or burgeoning, you have a more dispersed lower class and high class. It then begs the question, as a first stage, you want to understand, where am I as an individual? Or if I'm a company, I want to beg the question, where am I targeting for my customers? So which customer am I targeting? If, for instance, I am in Nigeria and I produce luxurious wristwatch, I want to be targeting customers that are, for instance, in the high class, because the chances that the low class customers are not buying Rolex wristwatch. So all of that thinking would, come into how I do things, and, even my ability to spend and ultimately my ability to save, which all consequently also affect your ability to, spend and credit it. So it's all interrelated. What you don't spend, you save, for instance, and what you don't save, you probably have spent already, or you will spend. Or it goes into investment in one way or the other. So all of this is integrated, and I think we'll speak more. I am trying not to speak too much around it so I don't preempt the speakers because they have more extensive knowledge and understanding than I do. But then we look at the aspect of effective tool for enhancing financial acumen. Your ability to use budgeting, as we previously mentioned, your financial advisors can be from different sources, can enhance your financial acumen, ensuring that you also work for economic situation. If you please go to the next slide so I don't take too much time. Right. So I'm just going to speak around this. I think we've addressed some of this in previous slides. Again, in a challenging economy, we need to foster our understanding to safeguard against pitfalls that can affect our credit worthiness. So I won't speak about this slide. I'll do a comprehensive summary at the end of this one. I think you can move to the next one so I can just speak overall. Yeah, thank you. So exploring financial aid and credit solutions, especially in difficult times, there are different mediums that are available at times that we are not even aware of. At times it is either there's a student loan going on with NEFON somewhere, people are not aware of it. There's a farmer's loan, there's a natural loan somewhere, people are not aware of it. So our ability to stay informed and get insight from the environment that we are in over and beyond the borders, and even extensively, even onto the other nations where there are things that may affect our life positively, financially, and credit in terms that we are not available, that we do not know of, is also important. We at First Central, for instance, are trying to do something on Transparency and Literacy International, where companies all over the world are able to list what the offers are. And for instance, in the leasing space, they're able to tell us these are the things that they're doing at this rate, and our customers and stakeholders are able to tap into such benefit. So all of this also extensively affect our ability to not only be a contributing member of society, but also grow our own individual capacity in terms of our resilience in financial adequacy and sustenance. You can go to the next slide, please. Now, credit solution for individuals are innovating credit options during economic downturn, and then the key factors affecting credit access in tough economics. We'll discover soon enough that credit options that are designed specifically for individuals encountering economic challenges, which can also mitigate the financial strain that they have. I made instance of the NEFON loan previously, and one of the things I make bold to say is that there are still students even within the Nigerian space that are not necessarily aware of such options. So you can actually take money for even educational needs or for studying, but they are not aware of it. And when they are not aware of it, they're unable to take advantage of it. So the downside of that then is what you don't know, you don't know. So you are able to actually mitigate the financial strain or improve your cash flow. But if you don't know that that option exists, then you cannot take advantage of it. Again, critical factors that influence our credit score. I try to make mention of one of is your repayment history. Another is the frequency of repayments, or whether you have a delay in maturity. Let's say, for instance, you take a loan from First Bank, and when the time is there, when it's time for repayment, you fail in your repayment, or when it is time for servicing the loan in one form or the other, you delay the repayment, or you make an attempt to restructure. There are different dynamics to it, and because of that, it affects your ability to pay. Or maybe there are some smart customers that will take from one bureau, from one institution, and then use that to offset the loan they have with a problem they have with another institution. One of that too can be challenging in the sense of that is more like taking a loan to service a loan. The challenge with that is you already have an existing loan that you're servicing, probably at a low interest rate. Now you are taking another loan to service the previous loan, probably at a higher interest rate. In other words, you're not really servicing the loan. You're only extending your repayment time with exotic options or with varied options. You also extended how do I call it, the amount of repayments. So how then do we see to it that we're able to negotiate or even navigate our financial inadequacies? There are many options in the economy, and I'm sure some of the speakers will touch on it. There are options for loan restructuring. There is also even option for, for how do I call it? Aids, some of which we'll also speak of. We speak of aids that come with banks like the BOI in conjunction with intra-credit, amongst others. And so the world is expanding. There are guarantor service loan where another party is settling on your behalf. However, you are able to maintain the repayment to the guarantor in a way that does not necessarily extend your repayment amount. So those are some of the few options that are available, and there are many more. If you please move to the next slide. Started.
I think you should be rounding off time.
Yeah, no, I think I spoke even about this. So we have assistance from government program again. There are many of them that I've mentioned, but a few, the NASA, the ones that are, you have the Islamic financing, amongst others, you have the student loan, for instance, is also government aid, and we're currently moving into the era of the credit calls, extensive financing and mortgaging that is also currently being administered by the current presidency. So the application for that mostly is also digital in some ways, but I'm sure when we develop our program on the Transparency International, you will get more insight on financial literacy, and you would also be able to evaluate some of the options that may be best suited for you. Thank you very much, Mary.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I think I listened well to you, and there's some things you highlighted that is so interesting. I think when you talk about managing our credit score effectively, you did mention being consistent with our payment. You also said we should keep our debts very, very low and regularly monitor our credit score, credit report for inaccuracies. Thank you, sir, for that. But that prompted a question in my heart. How do we maintain what we are not even aware of? A lot of people are not even aware there's a body called Credit Bureau, and their information, history of their borrowings are all there. So I think, and that's why First Central have decided to offer free credit score. You did mention that while you were talking to everyone that can download a mobile app. So as I'm talking, go to our mobile app, go to Play Store, your App Store, and download our mobile app. Download our mobile app. And you will be able to view your free credit score immediately. Yes, just go there. Easy to download. The registration is quite easy. If you want to have access to more details, you could just access it by just paying half the price of the full credit report. Thank you, MD, for speaking to us. Sorry, I had to cut you because of our time. All right. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our keynote speaker, the Managing Director, Quick Pay Limited, in the person of Mr. Gbemi Adelekun, for his presentation. You're welcome, sir. Thank you, sir, for all the support.
Thank you so much, Mary.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Let me start by appreciating First Central for this opportunity. The topic that has been chosen, which is exploring credit opportunities and boosting financial literacy, is quite apt in the current challenging economy. So without further ado, because I noticed that I only have 20 minutes, so I need to go through this quickly. Okay.
You can share your
Is my slide up?
Okay, I should share it. If I can, I will do that shortly.
Okay.
I thought you wanted to present yourself. You wanted to share it yourself. Let me just.
Okay, I've done it already. I can. It's being shared.
No.
Or whether it's
can't see
visible.
it. Try again, sir.
Okay, let me go back. All right. Share screen. Sorry, in a minute. It was up from my side. I thought you could see it as well. Okay. All right. Is it up now?
Yes, sir, it's up.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm here to talk about the title, Exploring Credit Opportunities and Boosting Financial Literacy. I'm sure during the introduction, you've been told that I represent a company called QuickPay, and we are into digital lending. So most of my discussion on financial literacy will relate more to credit. So micro loan and digital loan are powerful tools to provide credit to the marginalized and the poor. And the reason for this is easier for them to access collateral-free credit. But the problem that we have in the society is that credit really making the necessary positive impact in terms of them being able to manage their finances well and understanding the financial services and how to use finance to be able to improve themselves, because knowledge is power. Let me dive in terms of why is this topic important. The financial landscape in Nigeria is evolving rapidly. Many Nigerians lack financial knowledge affecting economic growth. So my presentation this morning will relate to the state of financial literacy in Nigeria, the impact of financial literacy on credit access, and solutions and initiatives to improve financial literacy in a challenging economy. As I said, financial literacy is not widely, we only have less than 40% of Nigerians that are financially literate, according to CBN. That is, we are saying, even if I'm using 200 million as our population, we're saying like 120 million people are, even though they've got access to financial services, but at the end of the day, they don't really, it's not having the maximum impact that financial services needs to have on people to be able to improve their livelihood and well-being. We know that we have 40 million Nigerians that are financially excluded. They don't have access at all to the formal banking services. And that's why financial literacy is especially very low in rural areas and among youth and women, I must say. So what's the reason for this? Why does it really matter in terms of financial literacy? Financial literacy, I've said that, I've explained it in a way. It's the ability of someone to be able to understand and be able to manage their finances properly, to make their finances work for them. In other words, to make money work for them. because they need to manage their financials effectively and in a responsible manner. They need to understand a lot of the financial concepts to be able to improve their well-being. Why it matters to the client, it's important because we all need to meet our financial goals. For example, you are setting up a business. You need to understand budgeting. You need to understand income and expenses. You need to understand you being able to income and expenses. You need to understand break-even points for you in terms of your profit and in terms of you being able to invest your profit back to the business. So financial literacy is very, very important for the economic growth of the country. When you are financially literate, you'll be able to handle emergencies well, uncertainties in terms of, let's say, income shock, in terms of emergencies, expenses, hospital bills, your hospital bills. You've got some things to pay. You want to pay your rent. The landlord may have increased the rent. You've been planning, you've been saving for this, which is part of financial literacy. Because the component of financial literacy is one of the major area of financial literacy is investment. So it matters because it will help you to take a better financial decision. And this is major for digital lenders like us to be able to avoid indebtedness and debt trap. That situation is getting out of hand, and I'll explain that in terms of how it affects the youth and the Gen Zs more like. So financial literacy is so important for the economy. For a company like us, for digital lenders, for the financial sector, if our customers are literate, they take informed decisions, they understand terms and conditions better. In terms of our NPL, non-performing loan, a lot of them will be able to meet their obligations and will be able to have more money to give other people. We are able to improve our profitability in terms of efficiency as well. So financial literacy is so critical for our economic survival in the country. For the government, economic growth, it will help to reduce poverty because people understand how to use financial services. They understand how to save. They understand how to invest. They understand how to borrow. They understand how to, in terms of pension and for emergencies, risk management in terms of insurance. So that's the importance of financial literacy. What are in the slide? It enables access to funds for financial stability. It is crucial for credit management because people can compare lenders and avoid high interest loans. Borrow responsibly. I said before that it will, in terms of financial literacy, it will help you manage your finances effectively and responsibly. And that's where this borrow responsibly comes in. So I can't emphasize the importance of financial literacy. To the government, I've mentioned it. In terms of financial inclusion, I forgot to mention that because when people understand savings, they understand investments, they understand the options that are available for them, they will be able to use their money wisely, which will be better for the economy because it will encourage entrepreneurship. They are able to set up a business, and in terms of revenue for the government, that's will help the government in terms of the economy. In terms of recession as well, they will understand. My MD of First Central, thank you, because you've made my job a bit easier. In terms of financial literacy, you'll be able to understand inflation, you'll be able to understand inflation, exchange rate, and the effects on your finances, because it affects your finance. So we need financial literacy to be taught consistently in terms of, because of the importance. What is the current practicality? Financial literacy. A large portion of Nigerians have not received proper financial education, limiting their ability to be informed in terms of financial decisions. Despite efforts, over 40 million Nigerians remain financially excluded in terms of financial literacy from CBN. 160 million people. Can you imagine the opportunities that are out there to develop our economy if we are able to impact the benefits of financial literacy on the populace? While financial knowledge can drive inclusion, without proper guidance, individuals are still fall victims of fraud and illegal financial schemes like the Ponzi. I think recently I was reading news about EFCC saying that there are over 58 Ponzi schemes that people are falling into the trap, and they need to be aware that of the risk. But if you are an individual that is financially literate, you know that some of these schemes are not good for you in the long run financially. And so the lack of access to traditional financial services has paved the way for fintech and digital lenders like us to leverage technology to provide credit, which is a part of financial literacy, and financial solutions for the unbanked and the underbanked. I mentioned this before, that 40 million people are excluded, but because of the internet and smartphone penetration, digital lenders like us could reach more people nationwide. And with the in terms of pushing our services, we're able to push financial literacy. I will mention some of the examples that are in existence now to boost financial literacy among people, because, as I said, it will lead to economic growth and financial stability. Leveraging on technology, financial inclusion, I mentioned that is just 40% of Nigerian adults that have access to financial literacy. More like, that information is for financial literacy. The digital financial technology driven by increasing internet penetration is emerging as a key driver and solution to enhance financial inclusion in Nigeria. Financial inclusion, people that are exempted from the formal financial services. But at the end of the day, as I mentioned previously, we have 40 million people that are financially excluded, but we have over 160 billion that are financially illiterate, more like. Okay, technology, I've mentioned that technologies like mobile money, agent banking, biometric identification, digital lending platform, USSD banking are mediums of financial accessibility. Basically because everyone has access, a lot of people have access to phones now. So they can access our service, but while accessing our service, we're able to educate them about financial literacy. Okay, some of the current financial literacy initiatives in Nigeria. There are a lot being done by the likes of CBN and other regulatory agencies like SEC. CBN, they have the National Financial, they have the National Financial, sorry, they have the National Financial Literacy framework. We SEC. Recently, I read that they are training women for them to understand investment and capital market literacy. I think what they said was that #investment Nigeria. And one initiative that is done by the government, the MD also mentioned this, is Credit Corp, the initiative of Credit Corp, that is Nigeria Consumer Credit Corporation. Micro loan, which is what we do. Digital loan is what we do. Cash loan is part of consumer credit. And consumer credits can actually move the country forward in terms of people having access to consumer credit, because they're able to. So the Credit Corp was set up to unlock customer credit, and what their target is to have 50% of the working population having access to consumer credit in year 2030. One of the strategies of meeting this goal is using financial literacy in terms of reorientating people in terms of some of the habits that we have. So their mission is to accelerate access to credit, but they're changing. They're supposed to be changing cultural mindset, and they're using financial literacy. They're collaborating with various companies to explain to people and to be able to get them to change their mindset, how to use in terms of credit. They're doing a lot in the sense that you have some members that of the society that believes that because of their custom and tradition, they can't have interest. They can't deal with banks with lots of the banks charge interest. So some of this mindset needs to be changed, and a lot of these initiatives are helping to change that mindset. A lot of private organizations like us are doing that. I can mention a few. I read recently VenHQ in Abuja. What they do is they pair financial literacy with digital lending for civil servants. You have PiggyVest that they do savings plan for long term. We have companies like DigiPay Network. What they do is that their platform is in the local language, so that people will understand financial literacy. They've been able to customize their system to the local language, which is Hausa. So a lot of initiatives are going on. NGOs, local and international. I came across one NGO recently that what they do is that they encourage youth, because youth and Gen Zs are the major people that we need to target with financial literacy. This local NGO, what they do is youth are encouraged to save like 200 naira every month, and at the end of a couple of months, they will sit like a cooperative model and decide that, okay, maybe they will have a forum on financial literacy, because this is a major problem. Train people for vocational studies. They encourage people to encourage youth to do more, and they're able to even offer small credits for people to set up petty businesses all across the nation. So financial literacy is so important for economic growth. We have a lot of seminars like the one being organized by First Central to educate individuals about financial literacy. You have a lot of influencers and bloggers on promoting financial literacy. Then, okay, NGOs I've mentioned. Okay, in terms of money lenders, they are doing a lot in terms of financial literacy as well, because people come to their platform, they will apply for a loan, but you are looking at their income and you now realize that their income is not able to sustain the loan that is requested. So you need to explain to them that they can start small, give them small loans, and build their financial independence and have access to bigger loans. Companies like ours, what we do is we've got a scheme that is start small and grow higher, and they grow their income. Even though they are starting small, they're able to grow their income gradually in terms of the loan that they get. We advise them that you're looking at your income, your expenses. This is how much you have left, and this is how much you can use to repay your loan. Start small, and gradually you'll be able to increase access to credit to improve your business, to improve your livelihood. So companies like us, we have smaller customers from 10,000 to customers that can have access to 5 million on our platform. So we are doing a lot in terms of financial literacy. Oh, one major aspect of financial literacy that we need to inculcate in our system is to teach financial literacy from school. It has to be included in school curriculums, because this is so important for us. It will encourage the young ones to understand how to use financial services in terms of investments, in terms of saving, that you can start small. Most of the banks have accounts that are focused on the younger people in the society and the youth. So this is so important, because it will help our economy in the long run when they start to understand the importance of using credit, using financial services effectively and reliably, more like. So I've said it before, they'll be able to break the cycle of poverty. It's a form of poverty alleviation. They're able to create job opportunities because they can understand what financial literacy is. This is the importance of finance. I even wanted to say that in terms of financial literacy, you've got budgeting, which I've explained. You've got savings, which the likes of PiggyVest and other fintech and are encouraging people to save small for projects in future. You've got the likes of and the government. They are doing a lot with the CBN and some of the other regulatory organizations. Investment. Recently I was talking to some youths at an event, and they were saying that, you know, this jackpot syndrome. They're saying that Nigeria, and I said, okay, Nigeria, what's your problem? They said they've got businesses and they've got small businesses, but to have access to capital. And I'm saying, yes, but a lot of companies can give you. It says, no, not that type of money. And I said, okay, even if I give you a large amount, what will you do in terms of, I give you, okay, you have access to, how much are you looking for? You are looking for 20 million. Yes. What will you do with the money? You know what the young guy said, Gen Z? He said he will invest it into crypto. And I'm like, crypto? I know that crypto is, yes, it goes up and down, but the volatility of crypto. So you don't even understand that you need to, rather than put all your eggs in one basket, you need to diversify your portfolio. And I said the same thing to another at a different event as well. And he gave me exactly the same answer, crypto. So this financial literacy is real, because how can you, you're getting 50 million and you're putting in yes, I know crypto it goes up and sometimes it goes down, but the volatility alone. So you don't understand that, okay, you need to diversify your investment in terms of bonds, maybe in stock, or put some in real estate. And so this financial literacy issue is real, I must say. I explained before, informed decision making, empower SME. We do a lot of that. Nano, macro. The nano ones, digital lenders, they, as I mentioned before, they come from loans from some digital lenders do from 5,000 to millions, but you start small and you are able to grow. Encourages job creation, because entrepreneurs will, because you understand financial literacy, you'll be able to, you may be able to set up your own business, you'll be able to employ more people, and at the end of the day, it will boost the economy. Okay, poverty alleviation, excuse me, sorry, I think I jumped. Beg your pardon, I'm trying to, okay. Credit, they can have access to insurance on their phone, micro insurance, without even having access to the formal banking system. So financial literacy is doing a lot in terms of financial inclusion. So I want to mention a bit in terms of money lenders, licensed money lenders, which is one of. We are actually regulated by the states and FCCPC, and we leverage on technology to facilitate quick and emergency credits to customers. This is so important because if you are not aware that an emergency situation has come up and you've got income, but your income is coming at the end of the month, you don't know what to do. It will be stressful for you. But when you understand financial literacy, you are aware of what is happening in the financial economy, you will understand that there are digital lenders, there are ways that you can go online to apply for loans. So we are playing a critical role in driving economic development with consumer finance. And as I said, we play a lot in the informal and formal sector of the economy with our support for nano, micro, small, and medium enterprises. I think I have 20 minutes. So how am I doing for time?
You have
Madam Mary.
exhausted your time.
Sorry?
You've exhausted your time. You have a grace period of 3 minutes.
Oh, 3 minutes. Okay, let me just go over. Yes, because of the opportunities that are available in the economy, a lot of digital money lenders are spreading up. From 2022, we had only 94. Now you have 374 because of the opportunities that are in the country. So let me just, okay. Some of the financial literacy program that we do for our customers, because of a lot of these unethical lenders online. What we tell them to do is some of the red flag when you are applying on a loan, on where you are applying for a loan on the platform. You need to watch out for anyone asking you for security deposits. You need to go on the FCCPC site because you'll be able to reduce a lot of stress for yourself because of these unethical practices and the way some of these people collect their money. So financial literacy is so important. Let me go. I've mentioned in terms of how we support SMEs. The future of financial literacy and credit access. The more investment in financial education, it has to be a consistent and a collective effort of everybody. Even parents, they need to teach their children about money matters and financial, and that is part of financial literacy. Stronger government regulations, innovation as well. We're able to reach the unbanked, and I'm sure in the next couple of years, the unbanked figures will even come down from the 40 million that we have now. So I'm rounding up quickly. Okay, my conclusion, financial literacy is key to economic growth. Financial literacy is not only beneficial for individuals, but financial institutions and the society, because it will help you to improve your livelihood, well-being, and social inclusion. Government regulation is needed to protect borrowers and lenders. Yes, you have that's a critical thing for a digital lender. You have a lot of borrowers that are complaining, but you have a lot of people coming on the platform. Averagely, especially youth, they have 3 or 4 overdues they've got and that will affect their ability to get support from the financial services in future. So financial literacy is critical to the survival of our financial economy and the economy as a whole, because it's a vital skill for the 21st century, and it's not something that you can. It's not an overnight thing. It has to be a comprehensive empowerment program by various bodies, because financial literacy is a catalyst to economic revitalization in terms of the issues that we have in the country. And we need more financially savvy populace that can adjust to changes in the economy and deal with uncertainty, making Nigeria a stronger and more vibrant nation. Thank you so much.
Thank you too, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful presentation. Thank you, sir. In fact, you said a lot of things, but the one that caught my attention is the one you said need for financial literacy to be integrated into our educational system, such that our youth can learn financial literacy at the early stage of their life. I totally agree with you. That is missing in our dear country. In fact, that's a concept we refer to shift left approach. where this kind of things will be discussed, or we can start teaching our youth and children at early stage. Even as parents, this process can start with us. Every one of us here, including yours faithful, talking, we have to start teaching our children financial literacy, not just spending on them. Thank you so much for highlighting that. For me, that's my takeaway. I enjoyed everything you've said. Thank you, sir. All right, without waiting for that time, we will be going into the second section of the event, where we'll be having our panelists coming online. Can we, before then, let's play their recorded profile. Ms. Abbas.
All right, so, okay.
Are you there? Okay, don't worry, let me do that from my
Lost
end.
track of how many loan facility he has engaged with in the past. He is frustrated. He wished he had access to information about his loan report via SMS with analysis of the impact of non-repayments. On the other hand, here is Kemi, a real estate investor who uses the First Central mobile app. With the First Central mobile app, she tracks her loan, get to know her credit score / report, access to F-Alert, and more. James and Kemi met. She introduced him to the First Central mobile app. The First Central mobile app solved his problems. He knows how much and how many loan facility he has engaged with in the past. He also has access to other services. Are you having issues like James? If yes, you don't have to worry. First Central mobile app is here to help you out. Go to Play Store / App Store. Download the First Central mobile app and sign up today.
Gbenga Balogun brings over 18 years of seasoned banking expertise, specializing in credit risk management. He currently leads credit administration at First Bank Africa PLC, overseeing critical operations like committee management and credit bureau interactions. His responsibilities extend to budget administration and management of guaranteed standby instruments. Balogun's career at First Bank includes leadership role in credit mentoring and remedial management, building upon his prior experience at the United Bank of Africa PLC. He has also contributed to the international due diligence and portfolio reviews, showcasing his broad industry knowledge. His diverse background makes him a valuable expert in evolving banking landscape. And now, with a round of applause, please welcome Gbenga Balogun to the Credit Bureau 7.0. Olusegun Ladipo. Segun is a highly experienced banking executive with over 30 years of experience in risk management, branch operations, marketing, and regional leadership. He has a proven track record of driving strategic growth, which he has displayed in cross-functional roles, improving operational efficiencies, and ensuring regulatory compliance. A double master degree holder with an MBA and MSc in agricultural economics, he has very strong analytic mindset and excellent leadership skill. In his current role as a Chief Risk Officer (CRO) at the Unity Bank PLC, he is responsible for the development and implementation of comprehensive risk management strategies to minimize potential risk and ensure regulatory compliance. He is a Chartered Risk Manager (CRM) and member of the Nigerian Institute of Management (MNIM). He is also a member of the prestigious Ikoyi Club 1938. And now, please, with a round of applause, welcome Olusegun Oladipo to the Credit Bureau 7.0. Bankole Adesomi is a highly experienced banking executive with over 25 years of experience in risk management operations, both at the head office and at the branch level. He has a proven track record of driving strategic growth, which he has displayed in cross-functional roles, improving operational efficiencies and ensuring regulatory compliance. He holds a master's degree in economics and business administration. He's also a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. He has a very strong analytical mindset and excellent leadership skills. In his current role as the head credit risk management at UBA PLC, he is responsible for the development and implementation of comprehensive credit risk management strategies to minimize potential risk and to ensure regulatory compliance and accuracy of report to all stakeholders. And now, with a round of applause, let's welcome Bankole Adesomi to the Credit Bureau 7.0. Damilola Owoye is a seasoned banking professional with over 20 years of experience, currently serving as Assistant General Manager at the head of Retail Credit, Stanbic IBTC Bank. A fellow of Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, CIBN, he began his career in 2001, progressing through roles in banking operations, business development, and branch management at the Chartered Bank, Diamond Bank, and FCMB. At Stanbic IBTC, he drives SME, commercial, and digital lending, demonstrating his dynamic leadership and commitment to innovation in retail banking. He's an expert in risk management, implementing enterprise-wide systems and sustainable business practice. Beyond his professional achievement, Damilola is an actively involved member in community and professional organizations. He's an executive member of the CIBN Lagos branch, a member of the Rotary Club of Ikoyi, a member of Lagos Lawn Tennis Club, where he enjoys playing tennis. His extensive experience and dedication to both his profession and community makes him a well-rounded, impactful leader. With a round of applause, please welcome Damilola Owoye to the Credit Bureau 7.0.
All right, thank you so much. We welcome all our panelists, Mr. Gbenga Balogun, Mr. Owoye Damilola, Mr. Olusegun Oladipo, and Mr. Bankole Adesomi. Welcome, sirs. Over to you, our chief panelist.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe everyone can hear me.
I can hear you, sir.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I think it's a pleasure being here today. The session has been very, very much exciting and a lot to learn. The wealth of experience in this forum is a guarantee that, yes, everyone has got a lot to learn. So we're going to take some questions out of the presentation of the chief speaker today. And the question will be taken, responses to the question will be taken by the panelists, one after the other. But for want of time, would appreciate that we just make the responses very brief, because if we go by a wealth of experience, there'll be a lot to say. Thank you very much. My first question will be going to Mr. Bankole. And the question is, many of our listeners out there have been sensitized of the need to be financially literate, but they are not having such education during their formal or informal education. What can be done? How can a desirous individual who wants to be financially literate gain this level of financial literacy? Like the chief speaker has spoken, financial literacy would help us as lenders to get good repayment on our loan. And if people have good financial borrowing history, it will be easy for lenders to commit funds to them. So what can be done to enhance financial literacy? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I listened carefully to all the presentation by the keynote speaker and the lead speaker. Okay, they've delved too much, they've delved very well into some of this space. And one of the things that I would like to say, the first thing you have to have is to have a right attitude. Attitude, okay, is your attitude. Once you, because there are a lot of programs that are ongoing. Okay, there are a lot of discussions that you can listen to, and if you listen to news, radio jingles, okay, BCC. Also, I was in a panel sometimes, and I was talking to some of the audience. Somebody told me that some banks are already giving a form of financial education, now has them. All these things you have listened to, are they making use of them? Okay, it is not just, and they even go the extent of taking it to BCC outside to say that some of these financial institutions are available. You can get this power if you do this. Okay, this is how to access funds. This is how to, but they are not. They only merely listened, but they didn't do anything. So the attitude, okay, the attitude you cultivate will determine the attitude you are going to get to. So I would like to enjoy people that if you are not clear about what you need to do, okay, if you are in need, please ask questions, okay? And if where some of these opportunities are presented to you, don't waste the opportunity. Make sure the opportunities are well utilized by you, okay? Even if you are not using it in the media, you might probably need to get yourself educated and get yourself acquainted with the essence of the questions, of the essence of, or the theme of what people are saying or what people are trying to pass across to you. If you ignore them, you ignore them to your own peril. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bamikole. He has made us to know that attitude is very, very important. Once you are desirous to learn, there are a lot of platforms, both online, both community forum, sponsored opportunities by organizations, just like the one where we are in now. And I was very happy when Mary said that there will be a lot of motivations for people to participate actively, that you can even win up to 50,000. I was thinking maybe I should be a participant. Thank you, Mr. Bamikole. Mr. Damilola, I would want you to please help us to answer this question. In the course of the presentation of the chief speaker and even the MD, Mr. Peters, he has made mention of the fact that credit bureau, credit reporting, and credit history will help banks in terms of giving loan on clean lending basis, unsecured facilities to individuals who are qualified to do so. I would just want to get your insight on the extent to which credit bureau reports has facilitated credit decisions or lending to individuals in the banking space in general.
All right, thank you so much. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can.
Okay, yeah. I think, and thank you, I will stand on an existing protocol. It's been a very, very insightful session so far. And just to layer on what the chief speaker has mentioned, the credit bureau has really, really helped, in ensuring that we are able to really conduct a lot of assessments. And it's good for both the lenders and also the borrower, because when credit scores are available, then the borrower are able to access, even by themselves, looking at what First Central has done, you are able to access what your score is, and it helps to shape behavior in order to, to keep to certain conduct, ensuring, the timely repayment of loans and good conduct. So I think in that area, it shows that a whole lot of good thing has been done there, and it is helping both the lender, like I said, and also helping even the borrowers to ensure that the behavioral is appropriately, conducted. I think that's what I will say there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bamikole. So,
Damilola.
Mr. Damilola, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Damilola. That means that our listeners and everyone here should take their credit history very, very important. And the fact that you've not been able to access your credit history does not mean that you don't have one. Once you are borrowing, your credit history exists. Thank you, Mr. Damilola, for that resounding explanation. I want to ask Mr. Olusegun CRO to please give us further clarification on how we can navigate challenging economies, especially for emerging business?
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having me here, and thank you to everyone, the speakers and the co-panelists. I'll just go very quickly. A challenging time. If you speak to everyone, whether rich or poor, engaged or unemployed, we probably have the same definition for a challenging season, a challenging time. This is a period where things are tough. Economy is not growing, inflation, rising prices, things are dragging. Okay, businesses are failing. Tough times generally. Businesses are unable to source raw materials. Inventory levels are growing because they're unable to sell. Purchasing power is reducing. You can go into all kinds of economic indices, to describe what a challenging time is. For individuals, how do you navigate? For companies, how do you navigate? There's just a basic rule. During periods like this is the time people need to, leverage what we're talking about here, financial literacy. When you are aware that you're not likely to get lost. Okay, so foundationally, your knowledge of how you manage your finances around this time is very key. This is the time you need to, if possible, save as much as you can. But people will say, I don't have enough, how do I save? This is the time businesses need to probably access working capital to trade out of this situation. This is a time where you need to do all kinds of creative things, okay, to ensure that you can weather this time. One thing that we know for a fact is that economies are in cycles. You have the high and the low. So this is not the time, that is in the trough. It's going to rise again. So people should go through this period, with determination, with confidence, with knowledge, so that when things turn around, you'll be right on the top of the mountain again. It's a very interesting time, when you say it's challenging time, especially, clearly in Nigeria, this time is a challenging time. But I know that with a good knowledge of, financial management, or financial awareness, as we're talking about here, it will help a great deal. This is not the time to borrow, where you don't have to borrow. It's not the time to, it's not the time to borrow for consumption, as it were, because you will just continue to be in a debt trap. If you recall what the MD said at the beginning, and I think the key speaker to spoke about it. These are the time to just borrow for consumption, because you're going to be in the debt trap. You understand? So to navigate this period, I've spoken very briefly about things you need to do. We don't have too much time, I will have gone a little bit deeper. But even for businesses, it's a more creative. This is the time to leverage efficiencies around automation and stuff like that, so that you can keep your business lean, and a lot more profitable. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olusegun. It is a time for us not to borrow for consumption, not to borrow for social well-being, but rather for economic purpose. That is what he has said. And it's very important for us to save. When you save, you have a basis for borrowing. Thank you very much. I'll still come again to Mr. Damilola. I don't know, possibly our keynote speaker would have been in a very good position to speak to this. For the fintech, borrowing and lending is based on data. And we've seen series of cases where there are breach of customer information privacy. We've seen some fintech where in cost of getting information to lend to customers, or when people default, they give their information out and they try to reach out to other people just to persuade them to pay. To what extent do individuals have the right to their data protection under the fintech lending? Because we're talking about financial literacy. It's part of the literacy that I think our audience needs to know.
Thank you so much for for the question. And I think it's also part of what the lead speaker spoke about. I will say data privacy is always a two-way thing because it's not one-sided at all. Unfortunately, many customers most times do not even know when they are signing away their rights, under the data privacy, because you receive a T&C, terms and conditions of maybe a facility or something. But most of the times, people don't read, they don't study, they don't even know what they are signing off. And unfortunately, those data or their information, they are being used in a way that they themselves do not intend them to be used. So these are what we have seen in the industry. The other side of it too still has to do with consumers. And since we're having this session, it is very, very important for our consumers, for the borrowers to be aware that you still have some level of control. Be mindful of who you are giving your devices to, who you are sharing your PIN with, and who you are sharing your password with. I recall a situation in which someone said, "Oh, I did not request it for loan, but I'm being debited loan every month from XYZ." And by the time investigation was done, and also the person cooperated, it was discovered that it was her son that used Mama's phone to go get loan. So there is a kind of breach there, and it had then come to her for her to be the one to carry the pain of such unintended loan. Then, though it was resolved. So the consumers still have access, to make some reporting to the consumer protection in cases in which your data is being used inappropriately or is being put in social media in places that are not intended for it to be shared. So you can call the party to order. It is within the right of consumers, even when your data is out or when you have signed up to it, you still have the right to be able to inform the consumer protection that this is not intended, and they can always write or call the attention of any platform that is using the information in an inappropriate way to order. And these are the things that our consumers need to know, that they still have rights and they are not helpless. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Damilola. I believe our listeners have been well educated on their right to their data privacy. And I think they'll be more circumspect when we are accepting any loan facility because terms and conditions apply. I think if there's one thing Mr. Damilola has made very clear is the fact that in the course of taking loans, sometimes we sign off our rights, and we must be very conscious of what right we are signing off at any point we are taking any facility. Thank you, Mr. Damilola, for that clarification. Mr. Bamekole, I'll come back to you at this point in time. And I know that one of the major concerns in obtaining loan facilities as lenders in the course of our experiences, we've seen the cases of hidden charges, unauthorized charges. And if these charges are actually called hidden, for the benefit of our listeners, how can these charges be avoided? And what are circumstances that lead to these contestable charges in people's accounts?
Okay. Thank you very much. Hidden charges are those charges that they are either one, they are not meant to either be charged at all by the banks. Okay, two, even when they are meant to be charged, they are either not negotiated with the customer or discussed at all at the point of onboarding. Loan or any transaction, don't let me even limit to loan. If you are entering into any transaction with any financial institution, you should stay informed You ought to know your rights. You ought to know what you will charge. Even if you don't know, you can later find out that you claim your rights. The hidden charges are those charges that are within your loan, within your applications that are not meant to be charged. Okay, that the institutions cannot legally lay claim to. For example, let me make it simple. Okay, if you look at Nigerian law under the Guide to Bank Charges today, let me pick the case of a loan, for example. The maximum fee that should be charged to any customer, okay, in terms of lending fee, should be 1%. We have instances where other banks try to build in so many clauses, there are ways you can build in, okay, but you need to know if you know your right, there are things that you are going to be charged that you should know that it's not right. Even if you enter into that thing, and at the end you find out that you've been cheated or you've been, it was not discussed as at the time the loan was being, or the transaction was being engaged, okay, you can actually go back and lay claim to your rights. You can, we've seen instances that people now bring in consultants, but you don't even need, the only thing I will advise any user is, if you sign into any agreement, yes, there are some clauses, whether included or not, that are illegal. If you find out later, you can actually claim your right. You can go back to your right, okay, and claim that right. So hidden charges are those costs that are not meant to be part of your transactions. That's the way I want to leave it as a layman, in a layman language for all the audience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bamekoli. You said that hidden charges are those charges that you never intended when you were taking the facility. You are not informed. And even when you are informed, possibly they are not in sync with the bank, CBN bankers tariff on loan charges. So we should always read our reports, our offer letters properly, and make sure that we negotiate our fees appropriately, and also monitor what charges goes into the accounts. Mr. Bamekoli, thank you very much. I want to ask Mr. Olusegun again, and as our CRO, to please give us what can be done. We've seen that, yes, the fintechs tends to be promoting financial literacy to the extent that they've taken banking facilities to the doorsteps of people on your phone, and many banks, the commercial banks, are also being technology driven today. Even as commercial banks, you have many facilities that you can also do on your phone. But there is one thing that is very common. The experience so far is that the default rate is very high, and the chances of recovery is very, very low. And this tends to increase the cost of these facilities. What can be done to improve performance on unsecured lending to retail customers, to micro customers, to nano customers, and what can be done to ensure that when these facilities are given, customers actually pay, the recovery rate get better. And when the recovery rate get better, the lenders will be in a better position to say, okay, the rate of default is lower and the price can possibly get lower. What can be done? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much for that question. I'll start by saying that generally, and I'm sorry to say this, generally, we as a people, we generally have a bad attitude to borrowing money and paying back. Even between friends and within families, people take money from each other and they don't want to pay back, or they don't pay back. So it speaks to attitude, generally. And if you just do a sample, you will know that's what I'm talking about. Now come to borrowing from institutions. Firstly, yes, I agree with you that fintechs are, I prefer to use the word democratized borrowing, which means that you can take money as you go. But the problem with that is that a thorough or a deeper level of analysis is not usually done before people, go on their phones and are able to borrow. I know some fintechs are able to do what they call behavioral patterns, look at who you are, your digital footprint, do analysis, then do an assessment before they lend. I'm aware. But beyond that, what you cannot see on the phone is someone's character. That pivot, that takes you back to the basic, lending principles. Even the banks, when banks do their analysis, when banks do analysis, you're unable to analyze someone's character. But what you do reasonably is to say, okay, let's look at the person's history, his borrowing history, and that's where agencies like First Care Central help us a great deal. When you look at the customer's history, how much has he borrowed in the past, how is he paying back, stuff like that. So that helps a little bit, to determining whether you want to go forward with lending or not. Now, after you have done that, you've done all that you can, you've done the best, to take a lending decision. Now the burden moves back to the borrower. Now I want to, seeing most of the charts here, I could see that there are a lot of MFBs here. I just want to appeal to everyone, in this lending space, and engaging with our customers that take money from us, that we need to encourage them to understand that, number one, when they borrow money from banks, it's not the bank's money, it's other people's money, depositors' money. So they must have the discipline to pay back. When they pay back, we're able to lend to other people and the economy grows. You understand? So it's important. Credit grows economy. In some other parts of the world, everything is driven on the back of credits. Well, because over time here, the borrowing experience, has not been very good. And that's why it has been a bit challenging growing the portfolio or growing the credits, size here in Nigeria, generally. So it is good for us to first encourage our people. Let us have a change of attitude. When credits are going bad, or when there's a challenge, speak to your banker. Your banker can listen to you, can work it out with you. Don't just abandon the credit. Number two is that, well, when you get to the point where recovery must happen, then at that point you have to just go, I don't want to say all the way, because all the way would mean doing anything. No, doing everything professional to make the recovery happen. Because it's only when the customer borrowed money and pays back, that is only way the bank will grow, the economy can grow. So recovery at a point will have to kick in. And with BVN these days, you can you're able to access a borrower's general banking, what do you call it now?
The GSI.
Exactly. So you can see that, you have some customers that borrow money from you and they're not paying you back. Meanwhile, they're loading their credit balance in another bank. So you can see the entire industry, with the BVN. You can see that somebody has, so you can, GSI will help you, to take your money, to recover your money when the customer is being generally recalcitrant. So I want to start with an attitude of, borrow money and pay back. But when push comes to shove, then you have to take a decision. Apply GSI, DRA at a point. I'm sure we read all kinds of things in the papers when people take themselves to court to go and recover money. Sadly, that probably will be the last thing to do, but it doesn't have to get to that at all. So let's start with generally people learning to pay back when they borrow money. In some other parts of the world, I hear you could go to a supermarket, buy some stuff and write your check and walk away. And the supermarket will take it and pay the check in, and that's no issue. You don't even need to know the person. But here, somebody gives you a check, you're not very sure. Thank you so much. I don't want to take much of our time, but I'm sure we understand. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think the summary of what he has said is that our character is very, very important. Our trust assets, we must always build on it. Whatever loan we take, we should be able to pay back in line with the terms and conditions of the facility. And wherever there are issues or something crop up that may forestall our ability to pay, you discuss with your lender and they can restructure your facility and give you more time to repay the facility. And by so doing, we are creating a very good credit history. Default rate gets lower. the lenders get more comfortable to lend at a lower rate because the recovery cost is lower. Thank you very much, Mr. Olusegun. Thank you very much for that contribution. Mr. Damilola, I still want you to give us this, your perspective on this issue. When the chief speaker was making his presentation, he said over 40 million bankable Nigerians are outside the banking space. Over 40 million. That number is large, and the fact and the reality is that it could be larger than that. What can we do as lenders or as lending institutions to cover this gap?
Hello, I hope you can hear me. Thank you. Yes, the gap has been mentioned, that there are about over 40 million people that are bankable that are still outside. And I would say a lot of progress is being made. Yes, there is still a lot of room for improvement, because if we look at it, there have been sort of democratization in the industry. We have, I think, like the chief speaker said, we now have over 350, I think about 374 fintechs in Nigeria. And if we even look at the universe of micro lenders, we have over 1,000 micro lenders. That's if you factor in the MFBs and everybody into it. There has been two things that I believe has been the bane of easy onboarding of people into the system. You still have identity verification, KYC, and all. And I know that the financial institutions continue to work with the regulator to ensure these are made easy. So that is ongoing, and I believe that will continue to happen. And the second thing is, how do we reach out to the people in the rural environment? Because if we look at it, if you compare the universe of the urban population and the rural population, the accessibility is more in the urban area compared to the rural area, especially when you look at the up north and those sides. So a whole lot still need to happen in the area of identity. And I know that there is a lot also going on now with NIN, and also the government trying to create easier means of identity. All of this will go a long way to ensure that there is easier onboarding. And once there is easy onboarding, it bridges something. It's going to bridge information asymmetry. Because today, when lenders want to lend, the critical issue is accessibility. Do I have access to your information? Do I have access to the borrower's information? Do I know what this person earned, how the dynamics of your cash flow, and everything about you? So if you are not properly onboarded, if you are not on the financial scheme or stream, it will be very, very difficult for lenders to make credit, accessible to you. So like I mentioned, a whole lot is happening, and working relationship is going on also with regulators and everybody in the Nigeria side to ensure onboarding becomes easy, and access to information that will bridge the asymmetry also become easy. And I believe that within the next 3-5 years, this number will have gone down, and a lot more people will have come within, financial accessibility, and will no longer be excluded. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Damilola. I think that is on point. Onboarding process has been refined, series of engagement with the regulator, CBN, to ensure that onboarding of individuals to the banking space is made a lot much more easier. And as a matter of fact, I think CBN has been responding to that. We have tiers of accounts with different form of documentation. And as a customer gets to move up the ladder, get more sophisticated, the level of documentation gets to increase. And I think that will also help. Thank you, Mr. Damilola, for that clarification. Mary, we would have loved to proceed with this discussion, but I know that our audience would have some inquiries, some questions that will be burning in their heart. Haven't had so much today. So I want to give them the opportunity to possibly ask their questions so that we can provide answers to them. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, panelists.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, our panelists, for this wonderful section. In fact, I have gained a lot. I've just been writing a lot of things that I've understood. But because of our time, I won't be going to some of the things that they said. Let's move straight to the question and answer section. We have a lot of questions coming in, and I'm wondering if we'll be able to attend to all of them. Mr. Abbas, are you there?
Yes. Sorry, please, before you move on to the, Anna, please, if you would please give me the chance once again to say a big thank you to the speakers. I think I would appreciate that opportunity, please.
Sure, you can go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much. Once again, I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Gbemi. I can't thank you enough for all of the submissions and all of the contributions that you've made. We appreciate the efforts that you've you've put in place. You put in place to ensure that we are able to learn from this. So thank you very much, Mr. Gbemi Adelekun, and to Mr. Damilola. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate all of the efforts. It's been a wonderful reflecting exercise. Mr. Bankole, thank you. I think one of the key things to take away from this as well is the fact that attitude is altitude. We hear it every time, but we don't necessarily leverage on it. Mr. Olusegun Oladipo, thank you once again. Thank you very much. And more importantly, I think on the aggregate, one of the things I've been able to learn, when I look at the cumulative conversation, is that we then have to also imbibe the attitude of understanding that it is not just the crediting that matters as much as the understanding that we're trying to create a sustainable credit system. One of the things about that is also that the credit system should be sustainable in a way that is not abusive, whether the lenders using the GSI don't necessarily take money from the accounts, or whether the customers are also able to service their loan in a right and equitable manner. Thank you once again, and I can't thank you enough. And to the media team, thank you once again. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Abbas, over to you. Can we quickly attend to the questions? Then you can also take over the learn and win section.
All right, thank you very much. Our time is fast spent, but I will have to take some questions real time, because an event of this nature will not be complete without taking feedbacks from our listeners. All right, so let's quickly move into the Q&A session. Here we'll address some few questions. Feel free, please, to drop yours. We might still take one or two before we call it a wrap. So joining me today is Popola. I believe you have some questions there as well, Lucy.
Absolutely. There are lots of questions here. The questions are just coming in, and I know that our speakers will do a great job to it. Thank you so much for sharing your insights, and it's been quite interesting. Thank you very much to all our speakers and panelists.
All right, thank you. Though we've been able to respond to some of these questions privately, some we shared with the listeners as well. So let's just get to it very quick. I have this question from Rosemary Wanze. Actually, it's very, very related to the question Maria Vincent, Jacob, and Maria Vincent and Ketura John asked, and that's why I feel we should just take this question. And it reads, CBN estimates show that 60% of Nigerians have little or no knowledge of financial literacy, and the bulk of this population contribute majorly to the economy. The reality here is that most of them don't use digital phones. So what are the strategies that can be applied here So what she's trying to ask is what strategy can be applied to ensure that financial literacy gets to those Nigerians who don't have digital platform to access loans. I think this question should go to the keynote speaker, Mr. Gbemi Adeneko. Over to you, sir.
Sorry. Okay, thank you so much. You know, the advantages of digital lending is because of people having access to phones. But what you just said now is that, yes, in some remote areas, they don't have access to phones, and a lot of financial, a lot of things are happening in terms of those remote areas. For example, you have a lot of organization into like agency networking, whereby they've got in those remote areas, they've got the they've got what will I call it? I'm being distracted. Just hold on, please.
All right.
Okay. So sorry. Yes. So they've got agents all over the place that will be able to go to some of these customers and be able to help them in terms of their financial needs. So, but they are not able to reach a lot of people because the effect of technology. You know, most people have phones, but they don't have smartphones. But some companies are using other means to reach some of these remote areas. That's my answer.
All right, thank you. I don't know if any of our speakers want to shed more light on that.
Yes, I think in addition to that, some of the strategies we've also employed in-house is to see how best to reach out to some of these customers in remote areas by reaching out to them, and not necessarily digitally now, but in a rather unsustainable fashion that is traditional. So we travel all the way down to the Far East, to the North, and they have sort of women association, for instance, where they have their names, their data log, and all of that. And though they are not necessarily on digital phones or within the financial system inclusively, we are able to reach out to them, get their data, whether they are doing some community pool of funding and all that, we get that data. But that, again, is not necessarily sustainable. And the access to such information has its own risk in terms of, verification, in terms of, the modalities of collection, and then validity. So again, digital is the way. And as we rightly mentioned, I think some of the things CBN is also doing along, we must thank the bank powerfully along, whether it's cashless and others, also aid the financial inclusion. Because when you go into the financial system and you're no longer spending paper money, immediately the system has a way of knowing that you have a financial footprint. And I think that's what we should start to leverage on, digital and financial. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peters. Thank you very much, Mr. Adeneko. Tosin, do you have any question very quickly?
Okay, yes, this question is from Dr. Slawanson. She's asking, how can one repair his or her credit score? I think MD, you can help us do justice to this. Thank you, sir. Hello, sir.
Okay, why Justin, why the MD is coming on? Let me just respond to that.
All right.
So
I didn't catch the question. Okay, please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, she is saying, how can someone repair his or her credit score?
Repair, credit risk score repair. Yes, that is also very doable. In fact, when it comes to credit score repair, it's either there are two usual cases. One is the case of it doesn't exist. The other is the case of, it exists, but it is conflicting with the information that should be contained therein. So it's a case of dispute. Dispute can be either litigation or just minor issues. Now, if it doesn't exist, you cannot repair what doesn't exist. You can only create it. And creation is the case of, as a first stage you need to have a credit score, but you cannot have a credit score when you don't have a financial history. So we cannot really score you, because we would only score you on your ability to repay a loan that has already been serviced, which means you took a loan, or your ability to actually pay as a when due, or maybe to see that you're not too loan saturated in terms of the amount of loan you've collected from different sources and you're unable to service some. And so because we have a broader view of how you're performing, we will then look at the aggregate and score you. So to create a credit score as a first stage, it's always good to engage with the bank. Some of the initiatives we're following has gone beyond just looking at your credit facility, but also extensively into other psychometric analysis. And we are trying to see how the regulators can commit to that, so that when we look at other aspects of your lifestyle and your footprints, we can actually tell that you're also credible. But that is a little bit extensive and beyond the credit reporting system. What is permissible currently is that you get a loan, you service the loan, you get a credit score. Now, in the case of you having a credit score that is not necessarily okay for you, or maybe it's not a high score and exceptionally good, what you want to do is to find a way to repair the score. And that's, as a first stage, is to service the loan. That's the easiest way. But in the event that you have the willingness to service the loan, or you do not have the ability to service the loan, it then means that you may need to engage the lenders and see whether there is a form of, extensive moratorium or extending the maturity dates to a later time in some of restructuring. There has to be something that, can be agreed upon. The sad reality of a credit report is that it will tell your ability to perform, but it doesn't really tell much about your willingness to perform. So if, for instance, you have the intention of performing, but because of your own internal or personal dynamics, whether you're going through some serious divorce or whether you were wrong or something, your ability is impaired. Even though you have the willingness, the credit score will not say, oh, Mr. A was on his way to the bank or back from the bank and he was robbed and so he couldn't pay. It won't say that. It would simply say you did not pay. And so because it is so precisely arithmetical in its analysis, it would not look at the other aspect of the sentiments or what other dynamics has affected your score. And so it is important to just be diligent in the repayment. As a first stage, I would say that you also use some of our service on the credit repair system, where we can also help you actively monitor and evaluate what the banks are saying about you and give you, updates and reports, more importantly, on the current position of a bank that will truly reflect your own character and identity and also help you, improve on that. But that may be over and beyond the conversation of this audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you, Dr. Thank you very much, speakers. Okay, I can see our time is fast spent, so let me quickly move to the learner win session. I mean, this gives us the chance to put our knowledge to test and also win amazing prizes, specifically 50,000 naira worth of, shopping voucher. So I'll be asking questions based on today's discussion, and the first two correct answers will be rewarded. So I want you to stay tuned. I'll be sharing my screen where I'll be showing these questions. But first of all, I'll be sharing the rules that we are all on the same page. Okay, so here are the rules. You have to indicate the question number you are answering. It's just two questions. So you indicate if you're answering question 1 or question 2, and you use the format below: name, phone number, email address, and your answers. In case you might have 1 or 2 issues or challenge with the enter key, you can separate this information with a comma. Okay, so let's get to it. Question 1 now. Mention 3 initiatives that have been made in order to improve financial literacy. Our speaker mentioned that earlier, so you might want to quickly recall 3 initiatives that have been made in order to improve our financial literacy. So you can drop your answer in the Q&A box. Question 2 now. Mention 3 channels through which you can access your credit report. Mention 2 channels through which you can access your credit report on First Central Credit Platform. Okay, so you have the 2 questions. Good luck to all of you. While we are waiting for our answers, I would like to quickly take one more question from. Of course, do you have anyone? We'll wait to collect announce the winners. And Dr. Say there.
Yes, please come again.
Do you have any question? We'll wait to winners.
Oh yes, there's one more question that is going to our speaker, and this is quite interesting. Emmanuel Adam Paul, he's asking, he said, my question is based on a credit search. If a search is done on a customer using a validated BVN, but the search is not returned without any result, is it safe to say that the no result response means that the customer has no credit history? I think I would like any of our panelists to help us answer this, please.
Okay. Yes, I'm with you. In terms of BVN, sorry, I didn't get the question correctly.
All right, I'll take it again. Emmanuel Paul is asking that based on a credit search, if a search is done on a customer using a validated BVN, but the search is returned without any result, is it safe to say that the no result response means that the customer has no credit history?
You're asking 2 different questions. Yes, BVN validation is different from credit report in terms of the person may have a credit history, but it will be recorded on the, you may correct me, Mary, it will be recorded in a different way. They use other formats. It doesn't have to be BVN. It can be the phone information. It can be the address. It can be other information will be on credit registry in terms of the customer, but they don't have a BVN. Is that correct? Depending on the unique identifier that you use, but it will be First Central that will be able to answer that.
You are very correct, sir. Yes, using a validated BVN, you might not get a hit of the person's information if the BVN do not exist on the credit bureau platform. That is why it's advisable that you conduct search in at least 2 credit bureaus. When you search on one, you don't get a hit, you can search on the second credit bureau to be sure that the customer actually do not exist. That's one. Then another thing is that it's not just, not everybody has BVN, or let me say, it's not all customers' BVN have been updated to credit bureau platform. So it is good that you would, if you search with BVN, you can also narrow down your search with the customer's name, date of birth. On First Central system, you can even search with telephone number. So what I'm trying to say is that you shouldn't just conclude because you search with customer's BVN and didn't get a hit. You could also use other parameters like the customer's full name and his date of birth or telephone number. You will get a hit of the customer. We're actually working so hard to ensure that all customers on our database has BVN reported against their names. Currently, we're in partnership with NIMS to ensure that every customer has BVN, and also if customers on our system, their BVN are all verified. I hope you're okay with that.
Right. Thank you very much, Mary. Okay, very quickly, we would like to announce the winners on our
I
social
think we should
platform.
allow Tosin. Tosin haven't talked about questions on the social media because there are so many activities on the social media currently.
All right.
Yes. Tosin, do you have any
Yes.
report on that?
Yes, the report is super amazing, and I want to say a big thank you to all our participants on our social media platforms. I want to use this moment to just encourage everybody who is here presently to go to our social media platforms. We are available on Facebook at First Central Credit Bureau. We are also available on Instagram at First Central NG. We are also available on LinkedIn at First Central Credit Bureau, on Threads at First Central NG, on X at First Central NG, on TikTok at official_ First Central, and on YouTube at First Central Credit Bureau. We had a question thrown in for a couple of days for our online followers, which include them answering a question and getting people to like their questions. So on the basis of the responses that we have gotten, we have 3 winners who are going to be going home with a cash prize of 50,000 naira for the first place, 30,000 for the second place, and 20,000 for the third place. I'll be announcing the names of the winners right here, and I'm super excited for every single one who has participated. I can see a lot of people were really trying and struggling with the likes and that and then, but I'm so happy that the participation actually came about, and it has been quite interesting. So in first place on Facebook, we have the winner to be Adekunle Tioluwanimi with 78 likes after answering her question. So Miss Tioluwanimi, congratulations to you. You have just won yourself a shopping voucher of 50,000 naira. Congratulations to you. And in second place on our Instagram platform with the total likes of 46, we have Realtor Dorcas. Realtor Dorcas, you have just won yourself a cash shopping voucher of 30,000 naira for coming in second place. A big congratulations to you. And in third place from our X platform is Israel Freeman with a total like of 21 likes. So congratulations to every single one of you. Israel Freeman, you just won yourself 20,000 naira of shopping vouchers. This is a big congratulations to every single one of you. Thank you so much for participating. I will look forward to ensuring that every single one who is a part of Credit Bureau 7.0, you'll be following us to get much more updates on upcoming activities, because you will not want to miss out on any opportunity that is coming next. Thank you very much for joining us.
Wow.
Mr. Lekon.
Thank you so much, Tosi. I'm jealous. So if I need to win some vouchers.
Absolutely.
Maybe next time I will become a participant, not
absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations. Okay, Mr. Max, back to you. Do we have our winners?
Yes, it's actually been very challenging scanning through. A lot of responses came. The participation was very, very interesting. But it's okay. So Mr. Lekon, you do us the honor of announcing the winner in few minutes. I've just shared our first winner with you. And the second winner is actually also coming. Okay, that's the winner. This is the winner. The first one is the winner for question 1. The winner for question 2. Actually, it's been challenging. I haven't been able to find any. Okay, I found one. I found one eventually. So, Mr. Adeneko, over to you, sir.
Okay, so we are doing it. Is it the first winner that we're, how is this going to be done?
You announced the first winner.
Okay. Okay. What's the name of the first winner again?
Oluwaseun Omilabu.
Oluwaseun
Omilabu.
Omilabu. Yes. Mr. Oluwaseun Omilabu, congratulations for winning the special prize today. you deserve a clap.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining. Yes. Thank you for joining this session. And hopefully others that have not won anything will try better at the next session of First Central. So congratulations to you once again.
Mr. Bass, could you do us a favor? Let's hear the full name, the response, the answers. First, to be frank,
Yes,
the answer to the first question.
sure. I've skipped that, unfortunately. I think I will share that in the course of, yes, I've skipped that. So we can just go to the second winner.
Okay.
Trick Maha.
Male or female?
It's not indicated.
Congratulations,
male, actually.
Congratulations, Ma. I didn't get the first name correctly.
Patrick.
Patrick. Okay. Congratulations, Patrick, for winning. It shows that you've been listening to all the presentations that we've taken hours and hours to present. So thank you so much. And congratulations once again. I hope you use the prize for something that will increase financial inclusion, financial literacy for the country. So congratulations once again. And another round of applause.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
All right. So on this note that I call it a wrap on this session. We've not been able to take all the questions, but feel free to share them with us on all our via email. You can send email to your inquiries via to info@firstcentralcreditbureau.com. Rest assured that somebody will be available to respond. So I think that's it from my end. Thank you very much.
Okay, sorry, Mr. Lekon. There's a question from our viewers on LinkedIn. So I would like to quickly share that, if that will be okay, so we can attend to this question that's online.
Okay. All right, let's see if we can do that very quickly.
All right, the question is, I manage credit for an FMCG, and in the past, BVN was not a mandatory field at KYC. Now we have huge bad debt, but we still have basic information like name, email, CAC documents. How can your company use this information to help us trace these absconded customers?
Okay. You need a collection agency for that. We are digital lenders. We give credit out to people. I can't think of any other, because you don't have their BVN, but I'm sure that some of this record will still be on First Central. As Madam Mary has said, they've got their date of birth, they've got their name, but it may not be, it may take a while, but I'm sure you still get additional information on for these people on First Central. But for collections, you need to speak to the collection company because I can't recommend collection companies on here. We give credits, and some of our debt, if we've chased them for a while, we send them to collection agencies.
All right, thank you, sir. So in addition to what he said, please, can you reach out to us, First Central Credit Bureau, so that we'll guide you properly on how to report those customers. We actually have a data template. Then that you, if other fields, there are a lot of mandatory fields. If you have them, we can be able to accept the data. I also believe that it's not just consumer records, because those the records that require BVN actually consumer individual records. So firstly, you need to sign up with the credit bureau. So let's start up there. Mail us, send your request to us. We will respond to you and guide you properly on how to go about registering with credit bureau, and also how to report those data. I agree with you. We have helped a lot of people that, in fact, we have a lot of customers, or a lot of banks that when they give us data, they weren't BVN. They've even been giving us data before the era of BVN. And I can tell you that gradually we've been able to get BVN for some of those customers of DS. All right, so reach out to us after this event. We'll guide you properly. Thank you so much. I wish we could attend to a lot of questions because I've been strolling here. I saw a lot of questions that needs answer. Please, Mr. Abbas, I don't think we should extract these questions and respond to them one after the other. Where we need the panel to respond, we will be doing that. Sorry, we said we'll be ending the meeting by 1 p.m. We have exceeded our time. We sincerely apologize for that, but I know that this is very, very engaging and we have enjoyed ourselves. We have learned one or two things. For me, I've learned a lot. And that's something I always look forward in having webinars, because the speakers has the wealth of experience. The speakers has a lot to say. So by the time we listen to them, we gain a lot. We gain knowledge. Like one of the speakers said, it's not just learning, it's also application of what we have heard them speak. So thank you so much to all our amazing speakers for doing justice to this topic today. To Mr. Gbemi Adelekan, thank you so much, sir. Mr. Bankole Adesami, my father, thank you. And Mr. Olusegun Oladipo, I sincerely appreciate you. We called you once you responded. Mr. Damilala Owoye, thank you so much for joining us and adding your bit to the discussion. And our able chief panelist, Mr. Benga Balogun, thank you so much for doing justice to this topic. And to our able MD, thank you, sir, for always being available. And to First Central Media and all members of First Central team, thank you so much for making this possible. And to our distinguished participants, thank you a lot. Thank you. I can't stop saying thank you for honoring our invitation. We called and you responded and waited to this time. We are not taking that for granted. Thank you a lot. Let's do this again. All right, please do follow us on all our social media handles, like and our comment and share our comments. Thank you, everyone. Do have a blessed day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. I will reach out to you personally. Thank you, sir. Mr. Abbas, is there where we can get the questions?
Yeah.